Hey, welcome to Coffee with Mom and Dad. My name is Todd, and I'm Dad, and this is my wife Valerie. She's
Hello.
Mom.
I thought it was some Freya's name for a minute.
The reason that it's Coffee with Mom and Dad, of course, is because we're parents and
we're old. We have children.
Yeah, we're old and have children, or getting old and have children. But,
yeah, we're old.
Listen, we've been talking about seeking the Lord and waiting on God and all this stuff, and we've been talking about some current events and stuff like that, and it's been fun. And I want to continue to do that, but I want to make sure that we continue with the thought of waiting on God and really understanding what it means to wait on God. But I have to say something. I have to bring this up. I saw something. Actually, my son showed me this the other day, and it's hilarious. I don't know what it's called, but I have to talk about it. My son brought his phone over and said, "Dad, you got to see this." And it was this footage, and of course it's Obama's head and Michelle's head on different characters, and they go into this room and they wake up this little kid who has a head of Hillary Clinton, and she gets up, and it's like it's Christmas morning, they're all in their pajamas and stuff, and Hillary's doing this thing where she's like, all excited and stuff, and they bring her out to the door of this house or whatever, and they open up the door, and there's this trampoline, and on top of this trampoline, it's got the gates and all this stuff, and it's got the White House on top, and it's got this open, like, how they're made with the walls and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
our neighbors have one.
Yeah, and it's got this open space where she can get in, and she's looking at that trampoline, and she's all excited, and she starts going toward that trampoline, and all of a sudden, this dog with Donald Trump's head on it runs ahead of her, jumps on the trampoline, and starts jumping up and down. I saw that thing. I must have laughed for 5 or 10 minutes, man.
Todd said that President Obama did one where he was like walked out of the White House, on different doors. I want to see that.
But it was funny because, you're watching this dog with Donald Trump's head on it, jumping up and down, and the disappointment on Hillary's face, and Obama's face was just, it was comical, man. And the only reason I brought that up is because
it's still making them laugh.
It makes me laugh every time I think about it. Anyway, I know that doesn't have anything to do with the topic that we're talking about today, but
it's our show.
This is the part where we're going to get into current events and stuff like that, and talk about waiting on the Lord and news clips, right?
Yes.
That I have not seen, and
I've barely seen.
We call it what, shocking news or whatever.
Something
She's
like
going
that.
to read me some of these news clips, and I'm going to.
I don't know if these ones are necessarily shocking.
Okay, and I'm going to
I have
respond to them.
looked at them
we're
like
gonna
just a
talk
couple of
about them,
minutes
okay?
ago, briefly.
All right.
Okay.
Read me one.
Hang on. Oh, I finally figured out how to use this thing. Okay, I was shown how to use this thing. Okay. Donald Trump wants to live only part-time in White House. Report. Donald Trump may not live in the White House full-time after assuming the U.S. presidency in January, and is discussing with his advisors about splitting time between Washington and his penthouse apartment in Manhattan, a media report said.
Ah, I see. He wants to live both lives, I guess.
Yeah, have the cake and eat it too.
Yeah, have the cake and eat it too. No, he's going to be busy. He's
yeah. I don't understand how he can do the job if he's not living there full time. It's not an easy job.
I don't understand how busy he's really going to be.
No, I don't either. I don't think it's quite hit him yet.
Donald, this is not a reality TV show.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to be busy, brother. Real busy.
And no matter what you do, everybody's going to say you're wrong.
Yep.
Except for your best friend. So whenever you do something wrong, they'll say you're right.
Yep. Yeah. You're getting yourself in deep, man.
Yep. Okay. And it's just basically saying the same thing.
News.
No, it's not really shocking. It's kind of weird. Trump says certain areas. That's not the same one.
You know, he's probably going to have other people kind of, you know, put other people in play and have them running certain things and then just be making decisions from wherever he's at. The problem is he's always going to have a certain level of security and tools for information around him so that he can make decisions wherever he's at anyway.
Whoa, this is a little racist. Because here we go again, and guess who left in D.C.? The same old white guy crowd that have already been rebuked in the past. Some Tiger Wise Jones, obviously not a fan of white people.
Is that part of the?
This is a Facebook post. This is what Todd.
Is that some of the same news or?
Yeah, it's the same thing. All the time, but she's like cutting old white people. Same old white guys, the same old white guy crowd. You were expecting change, or you're getting change, all right, for the worse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. This is just somebody sharing it. It's just the white guy slap. I'm like, okay, so we get a racist here. You know, just the racism caught my eye.
Hey, just in case y'all didn't know this.
Yeah, white people didn't make up racism.
Abraham Lincoln was a white guy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Remember that. All right, come on, give me something.
Well, these are okay. Well, these are basically the same thing.
Give me a good story.
So dumb. Okay. Okay. Next one is okay. More whining from the left.
Oh yeah.
Let's go to the next story.
I'm trying to. Not my president protest going on in Washington D.C. days after Trump's win. And I think those are two homosexuals.
Probably.
Yeah, if not, they probably ought to get a little space away from each other. That looks creepy.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, just elect Trump, continue in front of Trump International Hotel in Washington, D.C. after the victory of the controversial Republican candidate and potential at the presidential elections, and a Sputnik correspondent reported. Sputnik correspondent. Sputnik? That's awkward. That's like the first aircraft out of space.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, it's hilarious because all of a sudden, you know, and anybody who watches our show knows we're not like Trump people. Thing like this is the first time that they've had a president go in that was unfit for the White House, that was literally out, you know, against an entire group of people, and out to get them. Like, it's the first time people have gone, whoa, seriously? How can you put somebody like that in? Because that's how Christians felt when Obama went in.
Yeah.
And granted, most Christians are upset now that Trump's in, but, you know, we're thinking we got a few more years of not being thrown in jail by Hillary, you know, for being a Christian.
Well, here's you know, I remember when Obama was running.
That's where they're headed.
And they had all these signs up around the area we lived, and one of the signs was Obama's the Antichrist. And somebody had that in their yard. And you know, the reality is that we're a country that's divided in half. But here's the thing, okay?
No, the media never reported on the fact that Christians were
excuse me,
really upset.
I went in.
Well, that's what I was trying to say.
And I voted. Okay. I wrote in. I didn't, you know, when it come to Donald or Hillary, I didn't vote for either one. But I wrote in the candidate of my choice. But at the end of the day, I understand that Donald Trump won that election. Now, you're president all you want, but the reality is that he won that election fair and square, and we need to respect the office of the president. Well, I would say that for a liberal too, and I have said that for a liberal.
Yep.
I may not like what a president's doing. I may not like how they're acting half the time. but we still need to respect the office because he wields the sword, and the Bible is very clear.
Mm-hmm.
I know some of y'all just don't like hearing the Bible, but the Bible is still very clear
Mm-hmm.
that he wields the sword.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, at the end of the day, while the people may have voted him in, at the end of the day, it was still the decision of God
Mm-hmm.
that he go into that office. And so we need to respect our leaders, whether we like their character or not. We need to respect them for the position's sake, and we need to try and live a peaceable and quiet life, so that we can make real change.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to help America by causing opposition.
No.
You're not. You know, that's just not going to happen.
No.
So
As Christians, we all had real problems when Obama went in the office because of what he stood for.
But
White
listen,
and black Christians alike.
But listen,
Let me know when you're done.
I'm going to say this, you know, a good man doesn't just have people on his side. He has adversaries because he's a good man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if Trump wasn't saying anything offensive, then, or if he didn't offend anybody, then we could legitimately say that he's pretty worthless. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, go on.
Well, what I was saying was that I kind of forgot what I was saying.
Uh-huh.
That's why I try and finish my thoughts. Otherwise, gone. Train of thought just completely.
Give us another piece of
Okay.
news, Mom.
Yeah. Well, what I was trying to say was that, you know, as you know, Christians were very upset. You know, and there used to be a lot of Christians in this country, but it was not all over the news. And we were not out in protest. You know, there might have been a few radical nuts out there saying that's not my president. I don't know. But even the ones that I know who felt that way did not go out and knock over cars and break windows. They just sucked it up. Well, what I'm trying to say is that, you know, when Bush was in office, I kept hearing people say they wanted to kill Bush. Okay, people who were, you know, left-wingers. When Obama got in, right-wingers, they weren't crazy about, you know, obviously not crazy about the president because he is the most liberal Democrat to go in office, bar none. But when I heard when he was in office was people saying we need to pray for him, we need to pray for his salvation, we need to respect his office. Even ones that had some racial tendencies still respected the office, mostly because of the word of God. And if we can deal with this, you can deal with this. And if you're going to go on the news, throw fits when you would ignored us when we had a problem, then you're hypocrites.
Yeah. Well, I'll say something else too, and this is something that you really need to think about too. Mm-hmm. You know, first of all, let's face the reality, okay? Hillary Clinton did not win the Democratic nomination.
Nope.
Period. Bernie Sanders did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Bernie Sanders would have been running against Donald Trump.
And y'all let her get away with it.
Now listen to me, okay? Bernie Sanders might have beat Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
But Bernie Sanders recently came out and said that he was going to, and I'm paraphrasing, that he was going to respect his office and that he was going to do whatever he could to help Donald Trump make America great again.
Mm-hmm.
Now listen, that's coming from Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
So you liberals out there who want to protest and, be aggressive or cause trouble against the president of the United States, the president-elect, by saying he's not your president, when Bernie Sanders is saying, hey, I'm going to help the man.
Yeah, and he's a socialist.
And he is the one that the majority of you voted for anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he beat Hillary in about 10 primaries. So you ought to at least think about what you're doing. On top of that, I'll tell you something. You aren't doing yourself any favor.
No.
By accepting paychecks from Craigslist ads to go out and protest.
Yeah.
That guy that founded Progressive or whatever, they were saying that he was paying something like 14
Well, yeah,
or
his
15
son,
bucks an hour.
wasn't it like his son was paying people to go out and protest?
Something like
They
that.
found a place, I shared on Facebook, where they found the buses lined up. Somebody
Yeah.
in the church had shared it. The buses lined up that bussed him in to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you got to be hard up for money. I don't know. But
Well,
here's
when you tell people there's no right and wrong, they're capable of anything.
yeah.
Literally anything,
You
because
know,
they don't care anymore.
Listen, I don't necessarily
Except anything but themselves.
I don't necessarily feel like we really had a choice this election cycle, but here's the reality.
No.
The majority of Republicans felt like we did. And the majority of Democrats, well, you know, you let them steal your candidate away from you. And you tolerated it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you didn't tolerate it. That's why Hillary lost. Because you refused to tolerate the fact that she stole that candidacy. But onward.
Yeah, but
New
for those of
story.
you who are throwing a fit.
And now, by the way, if I'm not on air next week, you know why.
Yeah, look for the bodies.
Yeah, look for the body. Follow the blood trail.
Yeah. If we're gone, we've been murdered.
Yeah.
Just don't think we're that important. We got
We're not
like
that
5
important.
viewers, I think.
We're not that important.
Okay. Okay, next one. Okay, this one's kind of interesting. It's the only interesting one. New USB stick HIV test promises results in 30 minutes. Researchers from Imperial College London and DNA Electronics have developed a USB stick HIV test that can make it much easier for patients to monitor the virus themselves. According to project lead Dr. Graham, oh, it's Cook. Cook with an E at the end. I thought it was Dr. Graham Cookie.
Oh, okay.
I did actually already eat. Traditional HIV test equipment that checks for viral load, monitoring tests, and then it dots off. You have to click on the whole thing. But yeah, HIV test. It looks like it's not just for testing, but for monitoring. You know, monitoring where it is. That's pretty interesting. Look at some other ones. What do you think about that, Pa?
Cool.
Yeah, like I said, that's actually encouraging.
Yeah.
HIV. Remember when one of my C-sections, the doctor cut his finger. I mean, it was Margaret.
Yeah.
He had so much water that I could hear it just whoosh, freaked my husband out, freaked the doctors out, and the doctor cut his finger. And after the surgery, he asked me if I would take an IV test. So I'd volunteer to take an IV test. That he paid for it. What did I say?
IV
test, an HIV test. I was like, yeah, sure. I'm sure I don't have it, but yeah, go ahead. So, I tested because the man would look terrified. But we had to wait for a few weeks. Now this could work in 30 minutes. I thought,
that's great.
That is great. That's really cool.
That's cool stuff.
So here's another one. HIV test performance on USB stick. The USB stick can measure how much HIV is in the bloodstream. Scientists have developed a type of HIV test on a USB stick device created by blah 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 blah. Anyway, that's quite an accomplishment, actually. And of all the things that we do to make our world worse, that's actually progress.
That is progress.
I've always been amazed. They talk about the progressive movement. When I was young, I kept hearing about the progressive movement, and I thought the progressive movement meant they were making progress. Thus the word progressive. But everything I read connected to the word progressive is going backwards. It's just like, like, that's progress? Are you serious? Yeah, that's progress. Frankly, and it is sad. It's for something that we have done to destroy. It's there to monitor something that we have destroyed ourselves with through our sexual perversion and sexual immorality. But at least it's something that's useful, and it makes things a little easier, and not necessarily making things easier to be bad like most progressive stuff, but it actually helps people. So I would consider that progressive. That's actually really cool. And it says right here, USB stick can perform HIV tests with 95% accuracy in 20. This one says 20 minutes. That's really cool. Very right here. Very cool.
I feel like those friends of yours that have kids did.
Oh yeah, the
Oh
minors.
yeah. We had friends with two children that were, and that could be used to, like I said, it monitors. It monitors
That's
the
great.
levels in the body. That is awesome. Yeah, we have. You know,
And
there's a
take the
lot of
test and
children.
just plug it in the computer and it'll
Yeah.
give you the result.
Yeah, there's a lot of children who, you know, their parents have HIV. They're born with HIV. The parents can't raise them, so they leave them at the hospital. They or put them up for adoption because they can't take care of them. And for these children who've done absolutely nothing wrong at all, you know, or for these, you know, like little housewives or, you know, godly fathers or even, you know, unchristian fathers who are faithful to their wives and go give blood somewhere or, you know, get in a fist fight with somebody, by, you know, get beat up by somebody with AIDS who ends up, you know, with something like that. That's really awesome.
Or just for the average person in San Francisco that breathes the air.
Oh gosh, no kidding.
No. Oh man. What else you got for me? Is that it?
That's it. That's 3 of them.
All right. Listen, guys.
I don't think I can handle anymore.
You know, we've been talking a little bits and pieces here and there about seeking the Lord, and you know, it's a crazy world we live in. People protesting and people, you know, getting all uptight about leaders and everything else, and leaders doing things to make people uptight.
You know what really ticks me off? It really makes me angry. Is that these people who are out protesting are the same people who tell you there is no right and wrong. Do whatever you want. There's no right and wrong. Why are they upset? Thing is wrong.
But
sorry, it just bothers me. Like
but
that's hypocritical. Go ahead.
It's a crazy world, you know, and it's only going to get more crazy. And if you're not grabbing a hold of God and holding on to Him, you really haven't got much to grab a hold of.
No.
At a verse here in Lamentations 3 and 25 and 26, and it says, "The Lord is good unto them that wait for Him, to the soul that seeketh Him. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord." Oftentimes we get in a rush to do everything. We want everything in life right now. You know, we want to be busy, 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 and we don't ever just want to take some time and seek God out.
Yeah.
And you need to understand that in life, if you're going to have any real peace in life, peace that passes all understanding, that gets rid of that bitter feeling and the bitterness in life, then you need to understand that you need to grab a hold of God and let God take the bitterness and the frustration out of your life.
Yep.
Because life is full of obstacles and full of things that's going to cause you to be bitter.
Mm-hmm.
Every morning, to seek the Lord in the Word and in prayer, and actually wait for God. You know, actually wait for God to fill you with His presence, to give you a peace that passes all understanding. It'll make your day a whole lot better. You know, it'll make the anger and the bitterness and all that kind of stuff go away once you find a peace that passes all understanding. You know, Jeremiah in this text in Lamentation, you know, they've just been taken over by the Babylonians. The temple's been burnt, and he's going around noticing that, you know, everything seems to be destroyed. And he just lays his face down in the dust and seeks the Lord. Right before he says this, he says in verse 19, he says, "Remembering mine affliction and my misery, their wormwood and the gall, my soul hath them still in remembrance, and is humbled in me. This I recall to my mind. Therefore have I hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because His compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in Him." You know, my hope isn't in Donald Trump. My hope isn't in Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, or anybody
or
else.
Cruz, or Ted
Yeah.
Cruz.
Or Ted Cruz. There ain't anybody on the face of this planet that gives me hope but Jesus Christ. And if you're putting your hope in anybody else, you're putting your hope in a flawed being. And I just want to encourage you to seek out the Lord, to you know, to just kind of set everything aside and make some time for Him. And you'll reap the benefits.
Yeah.
You'll reap the benefits of right relationship with God. You'll reap the benefits of having a good standing with God. You know, if you just don't get up and go around and move on with your day without actually being in the presence of God. Hey guys, look, we love you and we're praying for you. I want to let y'all know that we are, and especially for my family back in Wyoming. I want to let my brother Troy know that I'm praying for him and his daughter.
Yeah, and his family,
granddaughter, actually.
Everybody, yeah.
I'm praying for you and praying for God's healing, and I love y'all. So, you know, be seeking the Lord, and know that God's love goes way beyond our understanding.
Yep.
And like, share, subscribe, and as Ethan said, smile. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of asking guys to send coffee. Nobody's sending coffee.
We're not asking you anymore.
Yeah, we're done asking you.
Y'all lazy givers.
Actually, people say, "Well, send coffee. Give me your address." I give them address, and I get you coffee.
Yeah, no coffee.
They mean well,
no
but
coffee.
whatever.
We're feeling the love.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so like, share, subscribe, and smile. Smile, like, share, whatever. Ethan's laughing at me over here.
That's creepy.
Whatever. Like, smile, and share. I don't know.
Smile for the wrong reasons. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, now you're confusing me.
Smile,
right.
like, share.
Oh. Yeah.
Half dressed. I don't know.
Anyway, hey, love y'all. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.